She says, my North Node is at 29 degrees Virgo, but I have 4 planets in Leo. And I've had a life of dragging my proud Leonine ass into service roles because that's what I'm drawn to. So I'm like a superstar service worker. And I mean, I just have to say, like, that is perfection because, what I've been trying to lead you to week after week as we go is this idea of embracing the contradictions of your chart rather than coming at it with this very narrow, like, oh, I'm a Capricorn. What does that mean? Or, oh, I've got a 12th house, Mars, so that must be bad. But to take in this mosaic of your whole essence. Again, if you're new, don't be overwhelmed. Over time, if I've lit a fire in you, you're going to have all kinds of opportunities over time through your own research and all the books and videos and things that I'm turning you on to that are out there. You'll come to understand the pieces of the mosaic. But if you can hold that idea, like Shannon said in that quote, that you will embrace multitudes. That's what Walt Whitman said. So I just love this idea of somebody, with, her North, we're going to get into the nodes today anyway, which is probably part of why I wanted to read this. Here's her North Node in Virgo, wherever the North Node falls is the path often of highest evolution for you in this life. We're going to go over those. And yet she has 4 planets in Leo, which it's so completely different than Virgo. And neat, I love when she calls it her proud Leonine ass. Like the Leo energy is always here the high end of it is to show the light that everybody is and to be the superstar in some way and to feel comfortable with the attention and to learn to be good with that. And yet, if your North Node, your destiny point is in Virgo, 29 Virgo, we've been talking about anorectic degrees. There's a very deep knowing in the soul that it's here to serve. It's not here to just be running around going, aren't I fabulous? So just as we start to go into this, to just know that you're encompassing those multitudes and that the nodes, let me just say something about those before I go on to other things. Well, actually, I need to say one more thing too. The next class, I'm going to do almost entirely only questions. And I'm going to also try to get to some questions in the second half of today as well. But I want to give you this other piece of the story that I've been telling you to get to here. So that's why we're doing the node things. One way to think about nodes is that they're the nodes of the moon. They're this axis that happens in your chart. It's always the 2 signs that are across from each other. And I don't want to oversimplify it, but one way to think about them is, like I said, the North Node is the path of highest destiny. It's something to cultivate in this life. And when somebody says, you sometimes, I always love those articles where they interview people who are close to death and they're saying, like, what are your regrets? And often the regret somebody has, I think, without knowing it, is if they don't cultivate their North Node. Like if somebody if you have your North Node in Sagittarius, there's often a need to really have a broad perspective on life, or to even travel to many countries, or at the least to study philosophy and spiritual matters that give you the broadest vision possible. So if you don't do that and you only keep the mind very narrow, which would be the opposite of Sag in Gemini, then you could get to that place by the end of life and going, wait a minute, I didn't go what I came to Earth for. I didn't address some of that. But similarly, because every sign is neither negative nor positive and it's just vibration, you could have a North Node in Gemini and really be here to learn how to have carry your own curiosity about life, to be developing how to be on earth and learn things and be curious, because the downside of Sagittarius can create that know-it-all energy. Well, I already have all the answers, so what do I need? You know, that's the downside of Sag. You might have Gemini there to compensate that. The opposite, going, no, you're here to hold an open, curious mind and learn many, many things. You know, sometimes somebody with a North Node in Gemini, they're just here to, oh, you know, they learn 5 languages and then they learn this and then they learn that. And the downside of it can be that they're having trouble staying focused. But the positive side is they're finally open to life. They're not just sitting in that negative Sag energy of, well, I already know it all, so there's nothing for me to learn. It's like the Gemini energy can be the consummate student and the high end of it.